I'm going to be testing out Foundation.com's color matching. So if you go on the website Foundation, you find out what your shade is in other foundations based on the shades that you currently use. So the shades that I currently use have changed because, well, I just recently moved to Florida a year ago. So, of course, when I was living in Virginia, that was a lot different because they have, you have all the seasons. Summer, you're outside all the time. You're going to be tanner than you normally would be in the winter because you're not outside as much. You're just like, it's too cold, winter just wasn't wasn't my favorite season. So when I moved to Florida, I was outside a lot more, and of course my skin changed. It went from drier and of living in Virginia to not dry, not oily, just in the middle. So when I was living in Virginia, I had two different kinds of foundations that I would use depending on the season. So when it was winter, I was using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filtered foundation in 170, and that's a lot lighter than I am now. My face is light. My face is lighter than my neck and my body, but and then my summer foundation was the Bare Minerals Warm Neutral 12 foundation, and that was a warmer foundation. So I went and got color matched, and I am now in MAC Studio Fix N5. So that's very similar to the Bare Minerals. It's a little more rosy, but it's very similar. So those were the three foundations that I put on the foundation website. And based on that, it should have given me my perfect shade. So I went to Ulta and picked up some foundations based on the recommendations that Foundation said. I got some drugstore and I got some higher end foundations. We're gonna see which one matches me, or if this, Foundation.com matches, these other ones too. They gave me a lot of different choices. Of course, my foundations that I put on here were different shades. So we're gonna see how close this matches me, especially since my skin has changed and the color range is very different. So we're gonna see how close of a match it is. So let's start with the pale foundation that I already owned, which was, this is probably not as good. It's very liquidy. Came out. So this is the Fenty Beauty. As you can see, it's very light on me because this was a shade that I got matched with when I was really pale in Virginia. So it's not as much my shade anymore. It's very pale. I definitely would have to match it up with some bronzer or some contour or something to help with the shade. Next, we're gonna try the Pro Matte LA Girl Longwear Foundation. So that looks good. It looks like it matches. It's kind of light, but it matches my face. I'm not so sure about my neck. I don't know if I overlapped that because I can't really see. But, so those two. Next, I'm going to try the Born This Way foundation. I'm just putting it on my hand, and then I'm putting it on my finger, and I'm swatching it down my neck, down my face. So that's the Born This Way Born This Way foundation. Next, I want to try my Bare Minerals Warm Neutral 12. And I'm going to link all of these different shades and foundations in the down bar so that you can see them. This one's very liquidy too. It's probably because I've had it for a while. So yeah, they're all pretty similar. Some of them have more of a warm tinge to them, and some of them have more of a cool toned neutral shade to them, but they all match pretty well. Okay, next I'm going to do my MAC. We're going to go to the other side. So that's the Fenty Beauty is the very one on the end. LA Girl is second over. Born This Way is the third right here. And my Bare Minerals is the last one down here. So those are the 4 on that side. Oh my gosh, we gotta fight. Okay. We're gonna do, oh shit. Expensive stuff, I gotta put it back in there. So this is my MAC. Which I feel like is my favorite. Well, it's been my favorite, but I mean, I just bought like 6 foundations, so who knows which one's gonna be my favorite after I try them all. So that one's the MAC. We're waiting to see them dry down too. Because sometimes your face and your neck don't match. Like your neck, you want to match your neck, not necessarily your face when you're matching foundation. So, I don't know if you can see the stuff underneath. Okay, so the MAC is in the middle. Let's do let's do the Pro Glow Infallible. And that's really tan. Yeah, that's really yellow. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe it'll dry down. But when you look at my neck, it's very yellow compared to some of the other ones here. Looking. That one's the only one that I'm like, that's really yellow, that's really golden. The other 4 I really like. Even though they're different shades, they still, I feel like, match me pretty well. Especially the first 3. This one, which is the Bare Minerals one, is okay. I'm not really like in love with it. And then like these 3 I really like. This one I really like. See the Fenty Beauty one has dried down or oxidized a little bit. So these 3 I really like. This one not as much. This one, of course, I love. That's a little bit too. So let's try the matte one. See, because I think it's the same. Oh, it's got its little thing on it. That one's the same. See, that looks different. Those 2, and even on my hand, they look different. And they're supposed to be the same. One's matte, one's glowy. So they're supposed to be the same. They both say natural beige on them. Natural beige, natural beige. So they should essentially be the same shade, but they don't look at the same shade. They don't look like the same shade on my face. Next we have the Pure Love Your Selfie foundation, which I actually like. I feel like it reminds me of the other 3 shades. They're very warm. See, I have some cool tone ones here. Just all depends on what you're looking for. Some rosier tone ones here, and then more of like, well, I'm not in love with the Pro Glow one, but more of golden here, 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 here. They all kind of look the same. These are more like cool tones. So I feel like they're matching me pretty well. I feel like this one's too dark for me, but other than that, I feel like they're matching me pretty well. Some are a little too golden, but let's check out the NYX one. Oh yeah, that's a lot more, I can't really see it as well. Let's put it on my nose. That's a lot more light than I thought it was going to be. Maybe it's going to oxidize a little bit though. So, I mean, it's all about what you want to pull out of your skin. Like what, if you want to pull out the rosy, if you want to pull out the more tan, if you want to use self-tanner, that's going to affect. Like if I was going to use self-tanner and I was a little more tan, I would probably use the Pro Filter Pro Glow Infallible. And if I was, you know, a little bit lighter, like I hadn't been out in the sun a little bit, I probably would use one of these two. So it just all depends on what you're looking for. If you have a similar skin tone to me, then it might help you in finding shades that are more cool toned, more warm toned, more tan. It just, you know, it's all about your preference, whether you want full coverage, if you want, you know, more of a glowy coverage. I'm excited to try some of these. I mean, I really use the MAC one the most because that's the one that I got most recently. And like I said, I've used the Bare Minerals one, which is this one, and I've used the Fenty one. And so now I gotta try some of these other ones to see which ones will look the best. But definitely too dark on that one. But other than that, I feel like they really matched me pretty well. So I'm excited to try them and get into it. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like that this website is very helpful, especially if you're trying to purchase foundation online. Like I want to try to get the ColourPop match that they have for me, and see, you know, once I've tried these out, of course, because, you know, foundation doesn't last forever. They say, let's see, so on your containers they have little numbers that say how long these last for. So 12 months. So I might in 6 months get the ColourPop foundation because I've literally just bought 6 foundations in the last week and I need to use up what I have. You know, I got other things that I want to purchase, from, you know, eyeshadow palettes to primers that would help with this. So I think that this was very helpful, this foundation website, and I recommend it. So yeah, check out my Instagram, you know, subscribe to my channel if you want to see new content, and I will see you guys in the next one.